You pull into the driveway, taking in the sight of your new home. It's perfect. The trimmed hedges, the quiet, tree-lined streets, the way the sunset bathes the neighborhood in a golden glow. This is what you worked for. A peaceful place to call your own. At first, everything seems like a dream. Your neighbors wave as they pass by, smiling in that polite, suburban way. The HOA keeps everything in pristine condition. No overgrown lawns, no unsightly trash bins left out overnight. It's a well-oiled machine, and you don't mind the occasional reminder about community guidelines. It's all part of maintaining the charm of the place. But then, small things start to nag at you. The first time, it's just a fleeting moment. A glance from an HOA board member that lingers a second too long. You catch them watching from across the street, clipboard in hand, expression unreadable. You tell yourself it's nothing. Maybe they're just making their rounds. Then, the first letter arrives. A notice tucked neatly into your mailbox. The HOA logo printed in bold at the top. Violation. Notice. Something about your trash cans being left out too long. You frown. You always bring them in on time. Maybe they made a mistake. You shake it off. But then another letter comes. This time it's about your front lawn. Something about an unauthorized garden decoration. You look outside, confused. It's just a small planter by your doorstep. Nothing extravagant. The unease creeps in slowly. You start noticing more. A board member driving by too often, slowing down in front of your house. Another neighbor whispering when you walk past. A strange silence in conversations when you bring up the HOA. Something isn't right, and then the next letter arrives, and this time, it feels like a warning. You step outside, the morning air crisp and quiet, the kind of silence that makes everything feel just a little too perfect. As you make your way to the mailbox, you barely give it a second thought. Just another routine part of your day. But the moment you pull out the envelope and see the bold HOA violation notice, something inside you tenses. You tear it open, scanning the contents quickly. Your grass exceeds the community's acceptable height limit. A $50 fine. Your eyes flick toward your lawn. It looks fine. The same as it was yesterday, the same as your neighbors. You kneel, running your fingers through the blades of grass, as if expecting to find them towering above regulation. Half an inch too tall? Seriously? Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more awesome content. And while you're at it, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. Alright, let's keep going. Still, you don't want any trouble. You mow the lawn that evening, making sure it's pristine. It's annoying, but you brush it off. Maybe they're just strict. A few days later, another letter. This time, it's your car. Improper parking in driveway. All vehicles must be positioned per HOA guidelines. Another fine. You frown. Your car is parked the same way it always has been, like every other driveway on the block. You walk outside, scanning the street. Nothing seems out of place. If anything, someone else's car is parked at an even sharper angle than yours. You shake your head and comply, backing your car up a few inches just to be safe. Maybe it's just bad luck. But then, the third letter comes, and the fourth, each one more ridiculous than the last. A minor crack in the sidewalk in front of your house. Your responsibility, according to the HOA. A holiday wreath left on your door one day past their seasonal decoration removal policy. A recycling bin placed slightly off alignment from the curb. The fines add up. $50, $75, $100. You feel a slow burning frustration settle in your chest. This can't be normal. One evening, you decide to check something. You casually stroll down the block, scanning your neighbors' homes. They have decorations. They have the same sidewalk cracks. Their grass isn't perfect, but there are no violation notices taped to their doors. It's just you. A cold realization washes over you. This isn't about the rules anymore. You try to ignore it at first. The letters keep coming, each one more absurd than the last. A warning about a garden hose left uncoiled. A fine for a noise complaint when you hadn't even been home. The notices pile up on your kitchen counter. Their neatly printed HOA letterhead beginning to feel like a personal attack. But it's not just the letters. One morning, as you step outside to get the mail, you notice something. A car parked just a little too long at the end of the street. Same model, same color, same person in the driver's seat. At first, you assume it's just a neighbor, but the next day, the car is there again. And the next. Then, you see them, a man, one of the HOA board members, always watching. Clipboard in hand, pretending to inspect a property or check his phone, but his gaze lingers a little too long when you step outside. The first time, you think it's a coincidence. The second time, you feel uneasy. By the third time, your stomach tightens with something close to dread. Then the notes start. Not official letters from the HOA. These are different. Handwritten, tucked into your mailbox without a return address. You really should be more careful. Non-compliance has consequences. The words send a chill down your spine. There's no signature, no direct threat, but you can feel the weight of them. It's a warning. And then, one night, you see him. It's late, long past midnight, and the neighborhood is quiet. You're in the living room, lights off, mindlessly scrolling on your phone when something outside catches your eye. A shadow. It moves near the edge of your property, slow and deliberate. Someone is there, just beyond the street lamp's glow, watching. You freeze. Your heart pounds against your ribs. Every instinct screams at you to stay still, to pretend you didn't see. But you can't. You step toward the window, squinting into the darkness. The figure shifts. A shape, a person, standing too close to your driveway. You move quickly now, grabbing your phone, your breath shallow. You fumble with the door handle, ready to step outside and confront them. But when you do, they're gone. The street is empty. No sound, no footsteps, nothing. Just the cold wind and the eerie feeling that someone was just there, watching, waiting, and, for the first time since all of this started, you realize this isn't just about the HOA anymore. It's personal. You can't take it anymore. The fines, the warnings, the shadowy figure lurking outside your home, it's all too much. You've tried to play by the rules, tried to stay quiet, but it hasn't made a difference. If anything, it's getting worse. Tonight, you decide to put an end to it. Your hands shake as you walk up the driveway of Richard Hale, the HOA board, member who's been behind every violation notice, every absurd fine, every lingering stare. His house is just a few blocks away, a pristine two-story with a perfectly manicured lawn. It's late, but not too late. The lights are still on. Knock. The door opens almost immediately, as if he was expecting you. Hale stands in the doorway, wearing a casual sweater, a glass of wine in one hand. He smiles, but it's not a friendly smile. "Ah," he says, tilting his head. "I had a feeling you'd show up." Your chest tightens. "You need to stop," you say, voice steadier than you feel. "The fines, the threats. This has gone too far. I'm not breaking any rules. And I know I'm not the only one you're doing this to." Hale chuckles. Actually chuckles. "Rules are rules," he says smoothly. "You agreed to them when you moved in. I'm just enforcing them." You clench your fists. "No, you're not. You're targeting me. You've been watching me. And if it doesn't stop, You'll what?" Hale interrupts, stepping forward. His smile fades, replaced by something colder. "File a complaint? Call the police?" He shakes his head slowly, like you're a child who just doesn't understand. "Listen, you should just follow the rules. Or else." That last part, it isn't a suggestion. It's a warning. Or maybe it's a promise. Something in his eyes makes your skin crawl. He enjoys this. The power. The control. You realize then that this was never about the HOA, never about keeping the neighborhood in order. This is about him. He's not going to stop. Unless you make him. You take a step back, pulse hammering, your mind racing with possibilities. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. As you turn to leave, you feel his eyes on you, watching, waiting. And you know, without a doubt, this is just the beginning. Back home, you pace the living room, your mind racing. Hale's words keep replaying in your head. "You should just follow the rules. Or else. It wasn't a warning. It was a threat." And you know now that he's not just some overzealous HOA board member enforcing community guidelines. He's doing this on purpose. He's enjoying it. But why? You need answers. You grab your laptop, crack your knuckles, and start digging. At first, it's the basic stuff. HOA bylaws, community regulations, official reports. It's all written in dense legal jargon, designed to be just complicated enough that the average homeowner wouldn't bother questioning it. But you're not the average homeowner. You dig deeper, searching for anything that feels off, and then you find it. Buried in the HOA financial reports, there are transactions that don't make sense. Thousands of dollars marked for maintenance, with no clear records of work being done. Payments made to a private account, listed under an unfamiliar name. Your stomach tightens. Misuse of funds. That's not all. You start looking into past violation notices issued by the HOA. Cases just like yours. And one pattern becomes clear. Every single homeowner who received repeated excessive fines had one thing in common. They all either spoke out against the HOA or lived in homes that would be valuable if resold. Your chest tightens. It suddenly makes sense. This isn't about enforcing rules. This is about control, power, money. You check the names of homeowners who moved out in the past few years. Then you cross-reference them with homes that mysteriously went back on the market, sometimes within weeks of the owner's leaving. And every time the HOA had bought the property at a suspiciously low price. They were forcing people out. You lean back, rubbing a hand over your face. How many people had they done this to? How many families had been driven out of their own homes? And how far would they go to keep their secret buried? Your phone buzzes, a single message. Stop digging. Your breath catches. No name, no number. Just 2 words. They know. And now, you're officially a threat. Enough is enough. You close your laptop, pulse racing. The evidence is undeniable. Misused funds, falsified violations, families forced out of their homes. The HOA isn't just corrupt. They're running a full-scale operation. And Hale? He's at the center of it all. They think they can intimidate you. They think you'll back down like the others. They're wrong. You start with the hard proof. Screenshots of financial reports, records of fraudulent violations, and names of homeowners who mysteriously chose to move. Next, you go door to door, carefully choosing who to talk to. At first, people hesitate. You see the fear in their eyes, the way they glance over their shoulders before speaking. But when you show them what you've found, the fear turns into something else, anger. One by one, they start telling their stories. They find me into debt. I had to sell. Every time I fought back, the fees doubled. I was getting threats, notes in my mailbox, just like you. You write everything down, recording testimonies, scanning documents, taking photos. It's a paper trail of corruption, and it leads straight to the HOA board. Then you take it further. You install a security camera aimed directly at your driveway. If anyone tries to sneak around your property again, you'll catch them. You set up an anonymous email account, reaching out to local authorities, journalists, even a lawyer. Someone has to listen, and they do. You get a response. A lawyer wants to meet. They've seen cases like this before. They think you have enough to take legal action. For the first time in weeks, you feel hope. Then, that night, something happens. You come home late. The street is quiet, empty. But as you step up to your front door, you see it. A note. A single piece of paper taped to the wood. You peel it off with trembling fingers and unfold it. Drop this, or you'll regret it. Your hands go cold. They know you're fighting back, and now, they're coming for you. You don't sleep that night. The note sits on your kitchen counter, its words burning into your mind. Drop this, or you'll regret it. They want to scare you. They want to make you feel helpless. But they've made a mistake. You're not backing down. The next evening, the HOA holds its monthly homeowners meeting at the community center. Normally, these meetings are quiet, routine, with a handful of homeowners showing up to discuss minor issues, landscaping, parking, pool hours. But tonight, it's different. Tonight, you're bringing everything into the light. You arrive early, setting up your laptop and a projector. One by one, neighbors filter in, taking their seats. Some glance at you with curiosity, others with hope. And then Hale walks in. He pauses when he sees you standing at the front of the room. His smile is tight, forced. He knows something is coming, but he doesn't know how bad it's going to be. The meeting begins. Hale starts droning on about community regulations and necessary fee adjustments, but you don't wait for him to finish. You stand up, your voice firm. I have something to say. The room falls silent. All eyes turn to you. You take a deep breath, and then you lay it all out. The fraudulent fines, the forced evictions, the stolen HOA funds. One by one, you show the documents, the testimonies, the financial records. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Whispers turn into angry murmurs. This can't be real, someone mutters. Wait, I got fined for the same thing, another voice says. Then you pull up the final piece of evidence, the HOA's secret property transactions, the ones where they intentionally forced homeowners out, then sold their houses for profit. The room erupts. Shouts. Outrage. Homeowners standing up, demanding answers. Hale tries to laugh it off, but his voice wavers. This is ridiculous, he says, but he's sweating now. These are just misunderstandings. You mean crimes? You fire back. More voices rise. We trusted you. Where's our money? You're finished, Hale. And then someone pulls out their phone. They're calling the authorities. Hale's face drains of color. His reign is over. You step back, heart pounding as the chaos unfolds. Justice is finally here, and for the first time in a long time, you feel safe again. Days pass, then weeks. The fallout is swift and brutal. Hale is removed from the board, his name dragged through community forums and local news reports. An official investigation is launched. Lawyers get involved. Homeowners who were forced out come forward with their own horror stories, and the HOA's once untouchable power begins to crumble. For the first time in a long time, you feel safe in your own home. No more strange letters. No more threats. No more shadowy figures watching from the dark. But something inside you has changed. You've seen firsthand how power can be abused, how easily people in control can manipulate others through fear. You never thought something as simple as a homeowners association could turn into a machine of corruption, but it did. And if it could happen here, it could happen anywhere. You step outside, looking at the homes lining your street. This place, this neighborhood, it was supposed to be a dream, and for the first time, maybe it can be, but only because you fought back. You turn to the camera, your voice steady, unwavering. If something feels wrong, trust your instincts. Stand up. Fight back. Because bullies only win when we stay silent. You refuse to stay silent. Not now. Not ever. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more awesome content. Don't forget to tap the bell icon to stay updated, and let me know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Your support means the world.